So I've been playing a lot of this game called Rooftops and Alleys, and this is the best parkour game I have ever played, and it's still only in early access. And I do love my parkour games. I love Assassin's Creed even for its flaws. Mirror's Edge also, when it first came out, was one of my favorite parkour games, and Watch Dogs 2, surprisingly enough, had some really cool parkour moments as well. But here's the thing, this game provides a lot more than what these other games do not. See, with Assassin's Creed, I feel like a lot of the parkouring that happens in this game is just predetermined for you. You can hit a button that allows you to go up or down, and you do some really fancy movements. However, you don't really actually input these movements. It doesn't feel as satisfying because what you're really doing is just watching these animations play out, rather than hitting combos of buttons that allow you to do sick tricks. Think of it in the style of Devil May Cry. Imagine if you were just hitting a couple buttons and then you're doing these really sick bombastic combos. It looks cool, but it doesn't really satisfy you to the core because what you're really doing is hitting all of 2 buttons and it's doing everything else for you. That's how I feel with Assassin's Creed. It has really fancy animations that are playing out when you're hitting all of 2 buttons, but you're not executing these really fancy maneuvers. It's the same thing when we talk about Watch Dogs 2, because in that game you also only hold 2 buttons to execute parkour mechanics. So this again is something a little bit unsatisfying because we're only really watching these animations yet again. But that's okay because Watch Dogs 2 wasn't really about the parkouring in the first place. It was fighting against oppression, sticking up for the little guy, and being the hero that everybody needs. The parkouring in this game was just to make things interesting when you're traversing through the open world. So parkouring is not really the main draw to Watch Dogs. However, Mirror's Edge is a parkour game. From its mechanics, from its story, from its map design, everything is meant for you to run and be a parkourist. However, this game is held back by its first-person perspective, as there's only so many things you can do with this perspective that doesn't make you either feel sick or disoriented. But regardless of what I'm saying, this game was made by one man that was inspired by these games and more. And he listens to fan feedback and updates the game constantly. So what makes this game so amazing in the first place? Well, to be honest, I kind of like almost everything about this game, to its map design, to its animation, but my absolute favorite thing about this game is just the absolute freedom that you have with this game. Also turning into a pigeon. That's kind of fun. You can pick your favorite map and then say, hey, I want to go here, I want to do this trick, and I want to go down this path. And that's what's so great about it, is it allows you to be creative. And if you're one of the few people that have seen my YouTube shorts, you've probably seen this video right here. This level of freedom is something that most games these days don't really offer when it comes to parkouring. Now, of course, within Assassin's Creed Unity, you can probably see some really cool parkouring in there as well. But if you really look at the animations, it looks really goofy as it tries to make your character float a little bit further just so it can reach its destination, or it ends up just making it stick to something that you didn't want it to stick to. But don't think just because you hit a few buttons, you're going to be succeeding in every trick that you do. You do still have to perform precision jumping, and you also have to hit the B button at the right time in order to do a roll, so it doesn't mess up your movement. And movement in this game is real varied. You have several different ways you can traverse throughout this game. You're able to wall run, you can do a bunch of different acrobatic cartwheels and flips and stuff. You have several different ways you can vault over obstacles, and that's kind of the point of this game. It's just to have fun with mechanics and do something that you think looks cool. And I don't know about you guys, but when I play Spider-Man 2 on PS5, I kind of do the same thing. After I've beaten like the entire story, I end up just swinging around and just having fun with the mechanics, and that's kind of what it's like here. But when it comes to Rooftops and Alleys, ultimately it is a really fun experience that I think everybody should try at least once. The game is only $15 and again is still in early access, but from here it's only really going to improve. The guy that made the game is constantly getting feedback and is only getting better from here.